Hello, thank you for giving me some time to talk to you about my skills lab. I know we've been discussing your course redesign at your school, in that the reading writing combo class is one of the models that your department is investigating. The great thing about my skills lab is it is totally integrated. The diagnostics, the reading and writing modules, everything is integrated. Pearson is the only company that fully integrates both reading and writing. So that's really, really important, I think, to think about. In the past, my skills lab's kind of been separate. We've had my reading lab and my writing lab both combined under the umbrella of my skills lab. But over the last couple of years, the importance of developing those skills together has really, really informed the product that you are going to look at today, the MySkillsLab program. A couple of things before we get started. This is just going to be a basic overview, but I wanted to take you to the portal and let you know that we have a ton of resources here for you, where you can learn more about my skills lab. I don't expect you to remember everything today, but more importantly is the support tab. We have an abundance of resources for both you and students for getting started with the product, but also the training for you. There's several different ways to train, and I really want to point this out because we want to get you started with the new program on the right foot so that your students and you are not distracted by technical issues or just trouble getting started with a new program. So we really, really stress the importance of preparation. So there's several different ways that you can train with us. The self-paced training is something that you can do at home, at your computer, in your office, and you can do it at your own pace when you want to do it. And it covers all of the major areas that you need for basic training. And then there's some assessments to make sure that you've learned the basics. The live online training is also really great. This is offered a couple of times a week, and it's usually run by either someone from our Pearson language English team, or maybe a practitioner, somebody that's been using the product for a long time. It's great because you can ask questions, you can see the computer screen, it's very interactive. I actually recommend doing both of these. We can also do an on-campus training for your department. And then the last one is actually my favorite, and that is, as you're in the product and you have done the training, but you might need to brush up on something, these are very, very specific walkthrough tutorials on, how to make an assignment, how to work in your grade book, how to delete a student, how to have a student move from one section to another. So just wanted to point that out to you. As we go into the course, I just want to point out again, integration. Okay, very, very important. This is an integrated reading and writing class, and to have the technology designed to integrate the two skills is very important. So first thing that your students are going to be asked to do is what's called a path builder. Our English MyLabs have 3 different kinds of assessments. We've got a comprehensive diagnostic, which the students would take probably the first week of class. It's 40 questions. In this diagnostic, it's going to cover reading and writing skills. And then based on how the students do on that diagnostic, they're going to be provided with learning path modules. Okay? The other 2 types of assessments are the skills check within each module, and the mastery check, which is a mastery assessment to make sure that the students have mastered the skills within that module. Okay, so because I haven't taken the path builder, I can't go into my learning path, but I've opened that up in another course, and I'm in an Internet Explorer, and it doesn't like that as much as Google Chrome. All right, so this is a student that's taken the learning path. Over here, you'll see the calendar. If you want to assign modules to your whole class, you can do that, and they can see on the calendar, they'll have an indicator that they have an assignment coming up. They can click on the clock, and that will open their assignment up. Otherwise, listed here is what I need to do next. Okay, so a couple of things I want to point out. I mentioned that there's a path builder, that's the integrated reading and writing assessment. We also have what's called the Lexile locator, and that is to help determine the student's reading level, or Lexile range, we call it. And the great thing about that is the students will be reading passages that are on their Lexile range. So they're challenged, but they aren't discouraged. And they get to see where they start, and then as the semester goes along, or as the course goes along, they can see their improvement in their Lexile score. Okay? All right, so this is what a learning path looks like. And these are your buckets. Actually, I haven't taken the path builder, but at least you can see what the modules look like. The modules, as you can see, are combining reading and writing skills. Within each module, the students are given an overview of that lesson, an animation, they're given examples, practice, and more practice. And what happens while they're going through this practice is they're actually, the computer, the adaptive learning engine within MySkillsLab is watching to see how long it's taking them to answer their questions. If they're answering the questions quickly, are they answering them correctly, are they answering them wrong? And depending on how they're doing in that module, the adaptive learning engine is going to adjust the student's learning path according to how they're doing. So let me toggle back to this, this page. So the students are going to have a learning path, but in anything in this little orange area, these are going to be additional suggestions based on their actual performance in the modules. This is very important. I don't think any other program has an adaptive learning tool quite like this, because it doesn't keep the students revolving around in one module. It will actually send them back into a previous module if they need more foundational work. It'll also be able to read what's coming up on the calendar, maybe that you have assigned, and it will adjust the student's learning path based on things. Okay, we know that the teacher wants them to be done with such and such by Friday. Okay, it may reshuffle their learning path a little bit. The last thing that I want to show you, there's a lot of other things I could show. I do actually want to point out too, because I know in Florida there are a lot of second language, English as a second language students. We do have a separate diagnostic for those students and learning path as well. And then lastly, I want to show you, excuse me, let's see here, the reporting tools in the gradebook. And again, there's a lot of other things I could show here, but in the essence of time, I think one of the most important discussions that we're having with schools about this new DevEd legislation is the importance of the reporting. And I just wanted to show you within the gradebook, there are very, very strong reporting tools. You can actually look at a student's learning path. You can look at what their mastery status is within that learning path. You can look at specific assignments. Maybe you have assigned a quiz or a test and you want to see how your class did. If you've got a student in your office that's struggling and you want to go through what they've done in MySkillsLab, you can easily pull up their name and see all of their activity and performance. You can also, if you're in preparation for class, look at how students have done on a particular module. Maybe as a class, are they ready to move on to something else, or do you need to spend some more time on that? You also have the ability to set up alerts so that, especially if you have a lot of classes, you can kind of keep up to date with students that maybe haven't been getting into MySkillsLab regularly, students that have used up most of their resources, et cetera, et cetera. This can also be a great reporting tool on a programmatic level. So depending on how your courses are set up, you actually can have a program level administrative kind of bird's eye view of how all of the students in all of the courses are doing. And this is very powerful, especially for the kind of reporting that the state is asking for schools to do. So just in closing, I think the really powerful pieces of this program is the integration, the fact that students can work at their own pace, at their own level, and get the resources and tips and help and instruction real time when they need it as they're working through it. And then as far as you're concerned, the instructor, it's very easy to keep up with what your students are doing and where they're struggling. I'd love to come back and talk to you about other areas of MySkillsLab, but I really do appreciate your time today, and I look forward to working with you.